Hi, we are NoonaTalk. I'm Zara.
And I'm Sophia.
Welcome back to a brand new episode. And I mean, it feels brand new, but there's a lot of things we're going to be talking about that's not so new anymore. Like, I feel like this is beaten a horse to death, but we have some more sticks to beat this horse. So we're going to keep talking about it. And I think there's more information coming out constantly. In case you haven't read the title and don't know what I'm talking about, we're talking about the Kim Soohyun case, famous actor from Queen of Tears who has now been named King of Fake Tears.
Oh my god,
But
that's a good
before,
one.
right, I really enjoy that. But before we get into everything from that case and our thoughts and opinions and what's going to happen in the future and everything else updates wise, what's going on with you, Sophia? How's life? It's been 2 weeks since we last caught up with our mandus.
Recently, I was like looking for something to watch, non K-pop, but I'm obsessed with this HBO show called Succession. So it's like super interesting, and I want to binge watch it, but unfortunately, I have things to do. So if anyone's watched that, like seen that, let me know. What's been up with you?
Honestly, the same. I think I've just been running, training with all of that. I have started my transition to triathlon coaching now, which has been very interesting, especially because there is this one event in November that I've had my eye on as like the one that I want to train for as my like big triathlon and everything. And there's this Thai actor, if any of you are like into Thai actors, called Great. He's very great. I know the names are just brilliant. Anyway, so Great recently did a triathlon as well and has now technically qualified for the same one that I am going to be doing in November.
Oh my
So
god, where is
it
it
doesn't
happening?
mean it's happening in Phuket. It's called Laguna Phuket. There's a chance that he may not do it because I think this might be a one and done for him. There's a big chance that I might not do it because there's another triathlon happening at the same time that I might do instead. There might be some intervention of fate where we end up competing against each other and fall in love and become best friends.
Oh my god, or would it be like rivals where you're like running at the finish line and you kind of like.
Yeah, I stop him from getting that medal. No, I mean everybody gets a medal if you're a finisher.
Oh.
But he posted the stats, not his entire thing, but he did post the stats of his swim, and
Mhm.
his pace is a minute 53 per 100 meters, which is great. It's a really impressive one, especially for open water. Meanwhile, mine in a pool is 240. So yeah, I don't think we're competing.
It's okay, we're still rooting for you.
I know it's my rivals to lovers story that may work out.
I wanted to talk about this. Mark from NCT is the first ambassador of Tim Hortons in Korea, and as somebody who now lives in Canada and is like, yay, Tim Hortons, that's really fun.
And I think it should have happened so long ago. Like, what are they waiting for? I mean, I can't claim to know the origins of every member of all the K-pop groups, but I think Mark has famously been the Canadian K-pop boy for so many years, and he's recently had a comeback as well, and it's been genuinely really good. And I think the marketing around it has been very very clever. I'm just glad it's happening finally. But also lots of other comebacks. March Madness may be over, but it's I think spilling over to April because Beomgyu released his first mixtape called Panic. Beomgyu is my TXT bias, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that I think we're both scene girls. That's it. Like Beomgyu and I are both scene girls. Both of us are also big fans of El Captain because El Captain produced Panic.
Oh my god, I have to check it out. Have you heard it yet?
Yeah, it is my current favorite song. I think it's very good with capturing the nostalgia of like emo punk from back in the day, but like refining it in a more 2025 way. I really enjoyed it.
Speaking of enjoyed it, Kai came out with a song called Adult Swim, and girls, that is not PG 13.
I've said this a lot on like every platform. I love a man with a slutty waist, and the way that Kai took that and ran with it. But I do have a question. Okay, so Adult Swim is famously a production house. Like they make really like important like. Rick and Morty is an Adult Swim
Yeah.
TV show. How are we not afraid of like copyrights?
Wait, is Adult Swim still around? I thought they like died
Yeah,
off.
Adult Swim is
Oh,
still
okay.
around.
I guess you a lot of people make songs about like brand names and things. That's never an issue.
I guess. And
Mm.
maybe like there isn't that much of an overlap of audience that there'll be a problem.
Speaking of comebacks, the new 50-50 has had a comeback.
Whoa! I had no idea. Okay. 50-50
Yeah,
has
and
been mired in like controversy for so long, and there's been so many repackaging and whatnot going on.
I haven't heard it yet, but it's got like a cute, like in like a mystery crime concept. So that's kind of exciting. It's called The Perfect Crime. And
Oh,
did you know this? Because I did not. That remember Chanel from the Elite
not Boys
Wala
Planet.
show. Yeah, so Chanel from there, who didn't get selected in Elite, and I was very, very upset, is in the new 50-50. That's so cool.
Good for her. Good for her. I feel like she was a very talented person. Survival shows are based on voting, and there are some people who made it to elite, and I don't think they deserve to be there. I'll give it a listen. Have you guys heard the new 50-50 comeback? Let us know if it's worth like listening to. This is like a serious thing. Like coming back to more like serious issues. Have you seen this kiss of life thing going on?
The way that it coincided with the other the Blackpink reels that got released.
I don't know about the Blackpink thing. I only know about Kiss of Life. Wait, what is
Okay.
that?
So some hacker and they had a Discord where they were like, "Oh, I have a lot of data about from a lot of companies," and then they released these old Blackpink pre-debut like videos of their practices and stuff, in which because the original Blackpink was supposed to be five, and one of the members from the now G Idol, Mion, was supposed to be in the Blackpink. Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea. Wow, learn something
Yeah.
new every day.
Yeah, and then there were a lot of like rap performances of like original rap songs and a lot of videos
I can
of a
see
lot
where
of
this is
people
going.
of some people saying some words which they shouldn't have came out. But yeah, and then that was like one day, and literally the next day the kiss of life thing happened. So yeah, this is I guess the reality of K-pop, but do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so I had no idea because Kiss of Life is not a group that I ardently follow. I'm aware of them, and that's kind of it. But there have been a lot of people who are black creators or people of color who have been talking about how there has been a lot of appropriation of their culture and identity over many years of K-pop
Mhm.
in a not very respectful way, which I will have to agree. I mean, I can't speak to it because while we are also people of color, that's not the same color, felt the same way. I don't think we've had cultural appropriation happen to the degree that it happens with people from typically African American backgrounds, afros that we've seen maybe not dreads, but we've seen a lot of braiding in things that are culturally significant to
Mhm.
not Korea. And Kiss of Life unfortunately had live stream. I think they were doing like a V Live or something, Weverse
It
Live,
was a
and
member's birthday.
for a member's birthday, okay, and they were dressed, speaking, and adhering to stereotypes that were honestly, I'm shocked that it's happening more than anything else in 2025. Like this felt like 80s
Mm.
ke stand-up comic ke jokes. And
Yeah.
I don't just mean that because sensitivity बढ़ गई है, but like I think I just mean that I do just mean sensitivity बढ़ गई. Like, don't we know this? Like,
Yeah, and apart from being insensitive, it's just like it's one thing to be inspired by a culture. It's one thing to like get inspired, do something with it, do something with creators who are a part of that culture, and to pay homage to it. And but this was a mockery. Like I think that is where the biggest issue
hmm,
is because like rap music and a lot of hip hop culture is very mainstream. Like black artists are some of the most influential artists and in fashion and in so many things in our current culture. But I just feel like a lot of I mean it's not just Korean media, but Korean media does like make it a caricature and like make it the butt of the joke as opposed to it being like appreciative, which is just that's the worst.
you're right. It's cultural appropriation versus cultural appreciation, and that's a big
Yeah,
problem.
it's
And I
not
mean,
even
we come from
appropriation, it's mockery, which is just
hmm,
absurd.
when 21 Savage came to Gurgaon to perform, and he was shocked because so many people in the audience who were obviously brown and not black were saying the N word along with him. And then there were people fighting in the comments saying, well, he's put it in the song. Why shouldn't we sing along? And it's so absurd that this is a conversation that we're still having so many years later, where we've it's already been established that this is not an acceptable thing to do. And I mean, it makes sense that, again, where we were born and raised in India and South Asia, as a general, we're not very respectful of things that can be offensive. Like, even though it's
Mm.
illegal to say caste slurs in our country, people still happily, boldly keep saying them, put themselves on video. They don't care. So, I mean, किसी और के culture में उनको बुरा लग रहा है तो हमें तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं फर्क पड़ता.
Yeah.
A lot of Korea sentiments are the same, where it's like, it's got nothing to do with us. So why should
Hmm.
we bother? Maybe.
I was
No,
gonna
no,
say,
no.
if you're benefiting off of a global audience, then you also need to be respectful of that global audience. That's very important. You can't just be like, oh, in Korea, it doesn't matter, because those are not just the only people who are seeing it. And I also feel really bad for black K-pop fans who regularly see their own culture appropriated and mocked. Like, that's not okay.
Very true.
So, really crazy news has happened. Two of Red Velvet members are ending their contracts with SM. So, Wendy and Yeri of Red Velvet have will end their exclusive contract with SM. They will continue the group activities as part of Red Velvet, which I think is now the new trend. But the fact that
Mm.
someone is leaving SM again, like every time that happens, it blows my mind.
This is giving when the EXO breakup thing happened and everybody just left. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so curious what's going on at SM and why everybody's leaving. It could be just it. It genuinely could just be that the contracts are ending, and that it's fairly common knowledge now that if you end up leaving and starting your own label, you're able to pocket a lot more of your profit instead of the massive percentage that goes to your label. But what if there's tea?
Oh, that would be fun. But happy for them, because at some point I'd believe that once you're in SM, you can never leave. And the last news, and sorry to bring up New Jeans again, I think we talk about them in every episode, but there's always a new update, and this one is kind of spicy. So, there there like a report has come out where essentially within the parents there is a conflict where one of the parent of one of the members wanted to exercise their parental authority to not sue a daughter.
Oh,
And then,
interesting.
yes, so in a family court, there was a conflict, and so obviously only two of the members are minors, so those are the parents who it could be. And then they found out that it was Heron's parents. One of the parent said that they want the right to like veto this, but unfortunately, it didn't go through. But I just think it's interesting because we always felt that New Jeans and their parents were a united front, but clearly that is not the case. The plot thickens.
I'm curious as to what it is that made Heron's parents, wow, that rhymes, not want to sue. Because, like you said, we've always assumed it's such a united thing. And as much as we know, Heejin was very good at convincing these girls and their families of,
Hmm.
I don't want to say her agenda, but like her thought process. So what was it that Heron's parents felt, oh my god, every time I say it, that made them question it and not want to sue a door? Maybe it wasn't anything to do with Min Heejin and they were just being logical. Don't fight, like, it's don't bite the hand that feeds you.
And also, like the fact that in this case, it does feel like they don't have a lot of like evidence or solid backing. So why invest so much time and money into?
That's very true. But even if, I feel like parents at the end of the day, majority would be looking out for the best interest of their child. Like, I mean, that's the hope anyway. And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that in this case, that is what is happening and it's not something else, that they're not just like looking out for like a cash payment or anything. Maybe they notice that there is something off, but maybe it's not as bad as Minheejin's making it out to be. Or maybe, Heron herself was okay with it.
Hmm. Or maybe someone from Hybe is trying to pay them to stop.
Ooh, I didn't. But why would they only pay one parent? Like, I'm sure that you try to pay all the parents off.
But like, who's breaking? You find the one you can break, right?
Hmm. Would you sell out for money? Like if you had something that was going to like shake up the system, and if the
Hmm.
system then offered to pay you, would you
Hmm.
take the money or would you continue to fight?
Depends, like, am I winning the fight or am I losing the fight? Because why should I fight a losing fight?
I mean, I get I think for me it'd be like circumstantial, like things like how
Hmm.
Kesha went against Dr. Luke and she lost the
Hmm.
fight, and we like I think it was fairly obvious that she was going to lose the fight, but she still did it out of
And
morals.
yeah, and she lost the fight in court, but like in the court of public, she won. And I think that's also kind of where New Jeans might land. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think in the court of public opinion, New Jeans members are going to be talked badly. I don't think that's happening. I mean, I could be wrong, but I
Hmm.
definitely don't think of them as anything other than just like misled teenagers. That's sort of my mass most negative takeaway from it. But other
Hmm.
than that, I'm just like, if they were to go under another agency, another label, I'd just be like, yeah, good for them. Like they deserve to continue making music. They were just in a bad situation.
Hmm. True.
And now, keeping with the serious news, trigger warning: there will be discussions of consent not being always followed through and all things like that. So if at any point you're not feeling comfortable, please feel free to exit this video. Please seek help. Of course, we're talking about Kim Soo-hyun. And more importantly, did you know April is the Sexual Assault Awareness Month?
Oh, okay. Well, time to put him in jail.
And a lot of others as well, because this is not an isolated case. But we're specifically talking about Kim Soo-hyun. The last update, I think the big update that has happened is that he held a press conference where he very tearfully denied the allegations. And I
Yeah.
mean, okay, what did you think about the press conference? Because I have very specific feelings.
It's so annoying. Like I wanted to slap him. Like shut up. Stop crying. Stop being like it's one thing to be a horrible person, but it's another thing to be a blatantly shamelessly horrible person. Like be like,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm a prick and a pedo, so what? Like what are you gonna do? And that's the problem. Like that is the problem. Like that press conference is everything that is wrong with our society.
Yeah, one of my like I think there were a lot of things. I think the script reading, which was very chat GPT AI, was brilliant.
Yeah.
I feel like the one female reporter, mad props to her for asking the question about
Mhm.
how old they were when they first met, and him just walking away. I thought it was a joke. I thought somebody edited that. I was like, of course he's not just gonna leave when somebody asks a question like this. But no, it's real. She raised her hand and said, "When did you guys first meet?" And he just walked off the stage. I have never watched Queen of Tears, and aside from that, I don't think I've ever watched any K drama with Kim Soo Hyun in it. So I did not know the scope of his abilities, his talent, his acting. But watching this presser does make me wonder: how did he become the most paid actor?
Man, honestly, his acting in Queen of Tears was also not it. But I guess it is what it is. But this was so awful. Yeah, that's the one. Like the acting was bad. And just like I think the script part of it where he kept referring to her as the deceased was so like it's so disrespectful. Like you dated this person.
Yeah, I think there was a big PR spin done to like sort of distance Soohyun from Sehron, and that was why like he continued referring to her as the deceased and instead of
Yeah.
naming her. But it just made him seem more of a sociopath than anything else. And something big that I sort of really want to talk about, and a lot of people, how are people still defending him? I don't understand. I find it so bizarre. Like even for a minute, let's assume that everybody is wrong, that he followed the law by the T, and all of these are just false allegations. Let's assume. why are you still wasting your time defending some man? It's just some man. Like, it's some man who does not know you, at no point will care about you, nothing. He's just some guy. Like, do you have, like, tax season is on, don't you have taxes to file? ITR bharo apne jaake, like, do other things. Why you, even if you believe in your deepest of hearts that he is innocent and safe and whatnot, why are you so bothered? Like, let it be. It's so embarrassing. Like, some of the way some of y'all are moving in a very embarrassing way, just being honest. But no, one of the big things that I had to take away from this is where he was like, oh, I never dated her as a minor. She was never underage. I can confirm, and I'm quoting him, I can confirm that we were dating when she turned 19 and I was 31, which somehow does not make it any better.
I waited till the day she turned of age before I dated her, guys. I'm such
It
a
is,
pure
she is
man.
still exactly. She is still, by all accounts, a teenager, and you are 31. As people who are the same age, I find it hard to even talk to a 28-year-old because I'm like, ah, child. So 19 is
Yeah.
not making it any better at all. I
And
mean,
it's
there's been
not
a lot
even
of
like it's not even like they met when they were 19. He has been friends with her since she was 15, which, if you know somebody at 15 and you start dating them the day they turn 19, I'm sorry, like, none of us are ostriches. We are not putting our heads in the sand. We are very aware of what it is. I mean, even though that's also a lie, because there's clear proof through her family that he was in fact with her while he was in the military and he was writing her letters. And at that point, I think she was 16 or 17, which is when and how they found out. Yeah, and it's not like, oh my god, you're so cute, I can't wait to miss you. No, it's like explicit stuff, which is so disturbing. Like, oh my god, you.
no, but that's what I'm saying. Even if all of that is false, like let's put that all to one side. Even if it is, for a second, let's just, if we just focus on what he has admitted to himself, that she was 19 and I was 31. Just because you waited the day she was legal does not make it okay. Like, yes, you've skirted the law, but you're still a creep. Like,
Mm,
you're absolutely a creep.
yeah.
And there have been so many cases like this that have happened, not just in, I think, the world, but especially very famously in Hollywood, where Demi Lovato and Lindsay Lohan, both of them dated Wilmer Valderrama and had the exact same thing. They were best friends when they were 16, 17, and he was much, much older, like 10, 15 years older. And the day that they turned 18, which is the age of legal consent in America, suddenly they were dating, like literally at midnight. Same with Hilary Duff and Joel Madden, one of the singers from Good Charlotte. They were best friends when they were, oh, we're just good friends. I'm 16 and he is 35, but we're very good friends. And the day she turned 18, it was like, oh, suddenly we're now in love. To the point, also, Demi Lovato has written a song about dating Wilmer Valderrama called 29, because she was 17 and he was 29. And honestly, don't even have to listen to the song, just read the lyrics. It's a scathing take, and she wrote it when she turned 29, saying, I can't imagine doing what you did at 29 to someone that young now that I am 29. And it's honestly, it's never the girl's fault because they're like children, but it's so sad, and this happens so much.
You said it's not the girl's fault, and I was thinking, but it also happens to like so many younger guys in like, I mean, it happens generally, but I think in the
Oh, true, but
entertainment
I said it.
industry, it's so common because they're just so exposed to like these. Why is it so common in the entertainment industry actually? Now that I think about it.
I do want to clarify when I said it, we can't blame the girls. I only meant in these specific cases. Like, I meant the minors. That's what I meant. Like, we can't blame the minors. And
Yeah.
the one of the reasons why it does happen in the entertainment industry as much as it does is because of a lack of consequences. Like, Kim Soohyun still has defenders despite all of this behavior and evidence and everything coming out. So at the end of the day, people will value a pretty face over evidence. They'll say, oh, but he's a good actor, like as if that has anything to do with anything else. Second is also money. money, power, influence, like all of these, like if you have the money to spin PR, to silence people, to shut down publications, it's easier to get away with things, which is why people like Epstein and Diddy got away with a lot of things, because they had the money to, like, the minute anybody said, "Hey, I think something's wrong," you can just pay them to shut up, and people
Yeah.
do accept money. Like, that's a really common thing we've seen. And Justin Bieber is a great example, because I think there have been not just the Kourtney Kardashian thing, but there's a lot of other evidence, suggestions to say that he has definitely been a victim many other predators within Hollywood, because of course he started performing when he was what, 14, 15, and
Yeah.
he had a friendship with Diddy. I think there's a lot of hints that fans speculate in the Yummy music video, where
Mhm.
a lot of the adults are eating food off of plates with his face on it. And there were a lot of like mental breakdowns that Justin Bieber had while the filming of the Yummy music video, because it was supposed to be cathartic for him. I think there's just a lot of evidence to suggest that it is because of these things. So you're
Mm.
right, it does happen to men as well.
But I was just saying, like, the age and the entertainment industry is such a big factor. And I think sometimes it's not possible for the parents to be around as much. But back to the case, I think one of the worst things about that press conference was that right after that conference, Kim So Yoon announced that he will be suing her family for defamation. What?
And the family
Like,
court has taken on the case as well.
yeah.
They've agreed to take the case on. I mean,
And
in the sense of like, I am innocent, that is the thing to do. Like, you first
mhm.
put on a press conference, you cry very beautifully, and if you watch, like, if you go onto any article where if you try to look up his press conference, it is like 15 photographs of him crying from all different angles, because that's what's been officially given to these websites. And as
Hmm.
somebody on Twitter was like, are they trying to make like a photo book out of this or something?
It's really unfortunate where apparently in Korea, defamation cases are taken very seriously and people are super afraid of it. But like anything regarding any like women and their rights is not. So some like there are speculations that he might end up winning that case.
So, in terms of like defamation, it would make sense for him to win the case, because they'll
Mhm.
just, because he will maintain the I was 31 and she was 19,
Hmm.
which, even if it's true, even if it is true, does not stop it from being the most icky thing.
Yeah.
Like, why are you texting a teenager?
And I think the other thing is what he and everyone, even the people who were in our comments defending him, I'm looking at you, weirdos. Everyone kept saying he didn't kill her.
Hmm.
And we know that like that's not the point, that's not this issue, that is not why there it's being released. He didn't kill her. And even if someone like, okay, she had debt, she owed him money, and like he pressurized her, like, okay, yes, I agree. But even I think that can be looked at in a, like, he was just an employer trying to get money from his employee, even though whatever, like, but it's not even that, it's just the fact that the dating part is separate, and that makes him a terrible human being who is not worthy of being the highest paid entertainer in a country and getting the love and respect of millions of people. He doesn't deserve that because he's a shitty person. Like, at the end of the day, it's that whether he goes to jail or not, he probably won't go to jail. But it's just that, like, and that is important. So as fans, I think it's our responsibility to get him out of that throne that he's on.
Just don't support people who support crime. I feel like that should be the
Mm.
benchmark to set, like the least thing that you can do. Don't watch shows by people like this. Don't like, try to avoid it. I mean, I think it's, a lot of people say, how do you, because these are really popular people. I haven't listened to a single Drake song in like 4 years, 5 years. Like, it's really easy to not do it. it's just about like taking a stand, I guess. And like these people don't deserve to have the agency, don't deserve to have the money, don't deserve to have the respect of artists around them.
Mm.
Like these are not the people to support. There are so many people out there who are crime free, or do casual crime like embezzlement or money laundering. They're not actively hurting children that you can appreciate.
I
And I
mean,
feel like
money
that's a
laundering could hurt children.
okay, fair. Money laundering could. It could. It depends on who you're laundering money from.
Hmm.
But I meant just like if even if there's a hint of somebody potentially doing something to harm a child, why do you want to defend them? Like why? Nobody is that good an actor that you need to like let go of morals.
Yeah. And I think the other issue here is like he and his fans keep claiming that when Kim Saron had released the photos of their relationship, he had denied it, and that was because he was like, because Queen of Tears was going on and it was for the benefit of everyone who worked on that show and all of that. And I think, I don't know, that's the other issue where if she had said they were dating and at that time she wasn't a minor, then like them dating should not be a reason for them to like shut down a whole show. Like that's not okay.
I think cases like these, whenever they get talked about, whenever they get brought up, even when Seiron took her life in February, there was a lot of it always brings to light that there are so many like holes in the system that we've created, and a lot of these holes are for women. We've said this multiple times. Our page, we support, believe victims, women, regardless of anything. But even so, I think these are just indicators of society. Like
Hmm.
how is dating, like a rumor about two actors dating, that bad? Like why are we saying that it's okay, and why does it somehow negatively affect the woman so much more than it does the man? And of course I'm talking about all of these things in the binary, because queer people do not exist, no laws to protect them. But yeah.
Anyone who's supporting them, I really side eye them, because it's like, it's not even vague. It's not even like, oh, did it happen? Or even if she was here to like defend her situation and you could find flaws in the story or something, like, but what is the angle here? Like, why do people think like it's like someone who's not in this world anymore who took her life because of the life that she led and the DUI case and everything else, the pressures that she had, and her family is trying to get justice for her, not just for the DUI case but everything she's been through, and like this is a person who has exploited her. So I just don't understand why we are openly supporting him. Like I don't get, I
Yeah.
genuinely don't get it.
Yeah, a lot of people who are in our comments as well, or otherwise, who are defending him, they're like, oh, everyone's so quick to judge. We're not judging, we're saying stay away. We're not judging at all.
Yeah.
We're accepting the facts as they have been presented, and we're saying stay away from people like this. And I honestly, it feels like there are two types of people who are supporting him. Either it is men who have behaved exactly the same in their life and find it hard to accept reality, or women who have had similar things happen to them and similarly aren't able to come to terms with the fact that they were victims of abuse and grooming. And it's, instead of saying, oh my god, this happened to me and I need to process this, there's like, oh no, this is not bad, this is not a
Hmm.
bad thing that happened. Or I mean, of course, there is of course our favorite category of people who are underage themselves and don't understand. And to them I don't fault it. I think we were also on Facebook when we were 13 behind our parents' backs, and teenagers can make
Yeah, like
mistakes.
yeah, like when I was in school, I remember in high school, it was such a thing where like girls in like class ninth and class 10th would have these like older boyfriends who were like 24, 25. And at that time, like a lot of people were like, wow, she has an older boyfriend. And even then, I was like, he's so old. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, imagine you as a 27-year-old have a 15-year-old girlfriend, okay? You like, what do you say? Like, homework kar liya? Like, do you want some after school snacks? Like, what is going on? Like, why are you a nanny?
Big mood. No, you're still using examples of men in their 20s. I remember, I this is a genuine incident. I remember when I was, I think, in 10th grade or something, and there was this senior of mine who was in 12th, and his girlfriend was either in 8th or 9th. And I thought that was the most bizarre thing, because technically, yes, everyone is underage and it's not that creepy, but ninth and 12th, like, what are you talking about? Honestly, like, are you talking about like your Pokemon collection? But yeah, that was our, I don't know, deep dive, our thoughts, our opinions on the Kim Soo-hyun case. Let us know what you think. Do you
Hmm.
support him? Do you not? Do you support women and victims instead? There are a lot of there is a lot of help out there. Like, if you are somebody and in this conversation you've noticed that there was something that happened to you or a friend or something similar, there is a lot of help and support out there. You can get it, and
Hmm.
yeah, you can heal and recover from this. Like,
Yeah.
not to quote BTS, but life does go on, and it does
That's
get better, honestly.
That's so true. And yeah, you're right, because I think a lot of our followers are also like people in school and are underage. And I think that's the most, like, especially when you're on the internet, that's the most like sensitive time where like randos are talking to you. And just, if someone's being creepy, just don't talk to them. If they're above the age of 18, just don't talk to them, okay? Unless they're
Yeah,
your
I try
parents
to not even
or
reply to
family.
comments if, yeah, if I go to somebody's bio and they write their, like, a lot of people write their year of birth and things, and if I see they're under 18, I just don't even reply to comments. I'm like, it's okay,
Mm.
you're a child. I'm going to try to stay away.
Exactly. Not that it's bad being a child, it's a great thing. Love it, enjoy it. But like, just if people who are much older than you are trying to be friends with you, it's not a special thing. It just means that they're not intellectual. Because think of it, would you want your parents to be friends with like what if your parents is besties or internet friends with your classmate? Like that sounds weird, right? That's what it is. Like somebody else's potential parent is trying to be your friend, and that is weird. Like cut it out.
It out. Okay, we will be back in 2 weeks with a brand new episode, and I'm hoping nothing else happens that is sad and depressing, and we can talk about fun things again. Because I think on our agenda we have something fun, maybe about skin, beauty, hair. We haven't done one of those in a long time, so maybe it's time to bring it around. Um, Till then, I was Zara.
And I was Sophia.